Hi guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well. Whenever you see this is going to be a general reading for air sign Gemini, the twins. All right. It is also a timeless reading. It's general. It's for more than one person. All right. So it can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., money, all forms of abundance. All right. And it is a timeless reading, meaning that for some it can resonate as an example 6 months in the past or 6 months in the future. It can go years in opposite directions, right, in the past or the future. It can be days, it can be hours, it can be months, all that, right? So it will be different for everybody. And if it still does not resonate as you get into the reading, never force it. If you know your other placements, always feel free to check out your sun, rising, and moon signs, because depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your moon sign or with your sun sign or your rising sign. All right, just as an example. And if you don't know your other placements yet, and you know your birthday and where you were born, even if you don't know the exact time, you can still get a pretty good, decent birth chart online for free just by Googling it and finding out what your other placements are. And then also for matters of love, to get even more insight, I always recommend people to look into where their Venus is in their birth chart as well. So yes, we're about to get into your reading here, Gemini. But I also wanted to say that we all have all 12 zodiac signs throughout each individual of our birth charts, okay? So even if you're not a sun, rising, moon, or have Venus in Gemini, right, you have Gemini somewhere in your chart. So there may still be a message for you here. So all are welcome, of course. All right. So we're going to get into it in just a moment. Of course, I've pulled all of your cards here ahead of time. But I did want to say that if you're new, I do take a photo at the end of all the cards in case you want to look at it later more up close in detail. But of course, you don't have to. But if you're interested in finding out how to get that, like I said, at the end of the reading, I will be posting it on my Facebook page. So all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there if you want to see the photo. What else? Yes, welcome to everyone, right? Welcome to all the new people, and of course, people who are coming back. Everyone is appreciated. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say there in the beginning. So let's go ahead and get into your reading here, Gemini. And I also wanted to just mention, since I got to you guys a little bit later than I wanted to with my other job and responsibilities, the next set of readings I will be starting from the normal way of the zodiac. So I'll be starting with Aries and then going forward. So next time you won't have to wait as long. All right. But yeah, let's do a quick sound bell here for some general healing and grounding for the reading for myself and for you guys. So just be aware it does get loud, all right, in case you're sensitive to that. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen as well. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over here since we have a lot of stuff already on the table. But yeah, let's get into your reading here, Gemini. We're going to start in the center. If you've seen me before, you know, but for all the new people, I start in the center, okay, and then we work outwards to your tarot confirmation cards, and also we talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck to get even more insight. And then at the very end, we also have a couple of oracle cards here as well, all right? So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to call the cards out in order, and then we'll go one by one. All right. You do have 4 major arcanas here in your reading, Gemini, so that does speak of some changes coming up, or if this already happened, it could be changes that even started at some point in the past, right? And so we'll go ahead and call out right now, since we're talking about it, the other zodiac signs that showed up here in your major arcanas. So you have Taurus energy twice, you have Libra, you have Capricorn, you have Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, okay? Because you have the Wheel of Fortune card, so that has 4 signs just in that one card. In case you're like, wait, you said 4 cards, but then you said way more signs. That's because that one particular card has 4 signs represented in it. All right, so what does that mean? It could be you're dealing with a Capricorn, a Libra, a Taurus, a Leo, Aquarius, or Scorpio. Or if not, you could have a lot of that, some of those placements predominantly in your birth chart, or the other person could, if you're dealing with another person, or even multiple people. Or it has nothing to do with that at all. It could be some of the astrology that's going on at this time period, or general collective unconscious. Or again, it just doesn't resonate with you, and that's okay too. But I always like to mention it when I remember to. All right, so now let's call out your cards. So you have here Gemini, Justice in the reverse position. That's the Libra energy. The Wheel of Fortune in the right side up position. That is Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Then you have the Prince of Staves in the right side up position, also known as Prince of Wands, right side up. The Prince of Swords, right side up. The King of Staves, right side up. The Devil in the right side up position. That's Capricorn energy. The Ten of Cups, right side up. The Prince of Sacred Circles in reverse, also known as Prince of Pentacles in reverse. And the Princess of Cups in the right side up position. So like I said, we will start in the center and then work our way outwards here. So one thing to note too is that each row here in the center kind of roughly corresponds to a time period, right? And it will be different for everybody. So as a general kind of guideline, we were saying that the energy in this first row across is from February 18th to about February 28th. So the last week and a half or so of February is the first row. The second row is energy from March 1st through about March 9th or so. And then the third row here is where we're at now, right? Since I'm filming this on the 13th, okay? So this is energy around February 9th through February 18th or so. But again, it's not exact. It could be a few more days on each side, all right? Or even months, right? Or years. It just really depends. Okay. Excuse me. So anyway, let's get into it here, Gemini. We start off your reading here with the Justice in the reverse position. And this could be energy from the recent past. And again, recent past will be different for everyone, right? But it looks like there could have been something going on here where somebody's actions perhaps weren't justified or explainable or understood by someone. It could have been your actions or someone that you're dealing with actions or multiple people's actions, general environment situation here. It could also be that something wasn't, judged, like I said before, understood properly, but also there was a lack of balance for some if it's not necessarily about the judgment, because normally when it's right side up, right, we have the light and the dark pillar that we also have in the High Priestess card, but it talks about the dualities in life, the light and the dark, the positive and the negative that's in everything, but everything is in its place and balanced, right? So when it shows up in a reverse position, it could be talking about some type of imbalance here going on for you or another person or multiple people, general environment situation here, okay? It doesn't seem like this energy lasts too long because your next card is in a very positive for momentum progress energy, okay? But this is a little bit of some stagnant energy or energetic blockage in general here, okay? So this is actually where my spirit guides want me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck here in relation to that Justice in the reverse position. Now, when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom, this is energy from the way, way back past or further back than the recent past, right? And again, will be different for everybody. But what we have is the Nine of Swords in the right side up position on the top here of your deck, the other deck here. And then we have the Two of Swords in the right side up position on the bottom of the deck here. okay, in relation to this Justice card in reverse position. So this could be saying here that in the recent past, I'm sorry, in the way back past, further back, right? Or maybe it was just recent for some people, but somebody could have been in the energy of having a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in their head, having something disrupt their even like sleeping patterns in some way with the Nine of Swords there. Okay. And then on the other side, we have the Two of Swords right side up position. So it could be because of that energy of the Nine of Swords, somebody here then further back in the past, whatever it is, recent or further back than that, somebody here was trying to integrate and make a decision about something, integrate their logical mind, right? Okay, with their heart chakra, right? So she's blindfolded here, if you can see in the card, right? So she's trying to make a decision with her heart, not just what her head tells her to do. So it could be that the reason why this Justice card in the more recent, present, current energies that we're talking about is in the reverse position because somebody here is maybe having that lack of balance that we're talking about, okay, between their head and their heart and what it's telling them to do, or telling you to do, or telling multiple people to do, okay? It could also be that somebody isn't ready to make that decision yet here, okay, and fully integrate those things yet because the Two of Swords energy is not a go, go, go energy, right? It's more slower progress or even all the way stopped progress. Okay, so this could be definitely why these two cards are showing up with this Justice card in the reverse position here. The other thing too, when we talk about the water in the tarot, right, if you've seen me before, you know, but it represents our emotions. So there is water behind this woman in the Two of Swords. So she could be trying to understand her own emotions, that of course is the heart chakra, or understand other people's emotions, multiple people's emotions, and again, put it together with that air energy, right? The sword representing the mind and intellect and the tarot, but to do it in a way that is more balanced, where maybe in before it was too much, right? And somebody was too much up in their head, and here they're like, oh, wait, we still have the emotions, let's put that together. But maybe this process wasn't finished yet, and that's why the Justice card is in the reverse position here, Gemini. Okay, either for yourself or another person or multiple people. All right, now moving forward, like I said, this energy doesn't last too long because then we have the Wheel of Fortune in the right side up position. So when I was just saying that maybe that process was still going on, and that's why the Justice card was in the reverse position, it wasn't the right time to fully integrate something or to have the justice show up, or something to be judged and weighed and balanced, and for something to be fully understood. But then here with your second card, the Wheel of Fortune in the right side up position, it's like luck is on your side, or luck is on their side, or luck is on multiple people's side, okay? And this again is energy of Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay, this is that card that represents 4 of the zodiac signs. So it could mean something to you, but it doesn't have to here. But it really talks about luck, right? And it talks about time, the passage of time. You see the other zodiac signs here in the constellations. You see the other planets, right? But it's the wheel, right? So it's turning. Everything is turning. So here it's possibly saying that now, in this first row, which was energy around that last week and a half or so of February, maybe things were starting to pick up here, Gemini, in a certain way, moving forward and having things being more understood and justified and balanced and everything. And it's kind of, more favorable proportions, okay? Now, moving forward here, we have the Prince of Staves in the right side up position. All right, and this is your third card here, so maybe towards the end of February, again, even that first week of March. But here, this young man, right, he's not a king yet, so he's on his way, but he's working on his confidence, his strength, his courage, and he also has water in the background. So he's learning to channel his emotions in a positive way, to move forward, to possibly level up soon, right, when he does become king. So this could be that you here, Gemini, in that, end of February, beginning of March, you were working on possibly leveling up in some way in a relationship with your health, your money, a position at work, what have you, but something where it would be the next stage or step of something here, okay? But he also is very confident. There's definitely some fiery energy here, okay? So, could have something to do with that Leo energy that we mentioned before. I think, yeah. So you had you had Capricorn, Libra. You had two Taurus energies, and then you had Aquarius and Scorpio. So kind of a little bit of, well, more air since you are an air sign Gemini, and then some fire, and then some earth, and then some water. So kind of like all of the um, elements or different, lots of multiple signs, right, showing up. But anyway, this card is again for momentum and progress, right, following the Wheel of Fortune to the Prince of Staves in the right side up position here. Okay, let me just make sure. I think my music stopped. Now, really interesting. I haven't seen this in a while in a reading here, Gemini, but you have kind of just as like a foreshadowing, kind of ahead of time, telling you now, you have two prince cards or knights cards, right? And then you do have a king. So there is something going on here, right? Like the end of February, first week or so of March, where somebody is really working on leveling up or stepping up or going to the next stage or something, okay? Now here when we see your fourth card, the Prince of Swords in the right side up position, he also has water behind him. So again, learning to master the emotions and channel it into a positive way. His sword here is right side up, and that's how you want to see it, right? So he is learning to work with his mind, his intellect, and his emotions. He's got his eyes closed here. He's in that meditative place, right? And the thing about Prince cards or Knights cards, since they aren't a king, they're open to learning new things, which is always good, right? We should always strive to do that regardless of our status or our job or our title, all those things, our age, right? But this is really nice energy to see here because when we talk about, going from a wands card in the right side up position to then a swords card in the right side up position, they both have that duality as far as you can use a wand and a sword in two different ways, right? It can be a tool or a weapon. And here, the energy is really like using it, not necessarily in one or the other, but knowing that it has that quality to it, and being able to pick the right thing at that time that's needed. Okay, that's the best way I can say it, but we'll figure it out as we keep going and see how other things show up here. But then, like I said, now you go from the two princes to now the king. Okay, so I just want to show you them kind of all together for a second. And even though there are different minor arcanas, right? I mean, two of them are wands or staves, and then one is the sword. It doesn't matter because it's still that advancing level of something, right? So again, it could be advancing your money, your finances, your abundance, whatever you're trying to manifest in your world. Could be having better health, moving up in a relationship, the next step, or a job or creative project, what have you. But here, okay, we see the King of Staves in the right side up position. And again, we have some of that Leo energy with the lions, right? Okay, and he has this kind of nice, nice face. He has a nice look on his face that's almost like this silent confidence to him of like, okay, I've got all the support that I need, right? I'm in a higher level of position of leadership or role of where I have to have responsibility over others and delegate others, okay? But he's feeling very creative and passionate, and he's like just trying me. I don't know. That's how he's kind of how I look at that. The expression on his face, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean the same thing for you here. But it is, like I said, you're going from just princes and to then suddenly now this kingship energy, so royalty, leadership qualities, and just having, multiple eyes around you, watching you, but also looking to you for answers, right? That would be a leadership thing too. But it is just really nice, fiery energy again. So it could be that Leo energy we were speaking of before. All right, now moving forward, we get into your sixth card here, which is the devil in the right side up position. And this is that Capricorn energy I mentioned before. So doesn't mean that Capricorns are bad. The devil card isn't all the way bad, right? I kind of look at it more as somebody's animalistic side is out too much, right? It could even, if it's not talking about addictions, right? We can be addicted to a lot of different things, but it could also be some self-sabotaging energy, because what's to note is the chains on their neck. The loop is open, it's resting on their neck, but it's not all the way closed. So at any time, right, the devil card energy speaks about you can get those things back in balance, right? It could even talk about addiction to working too hard, or not working hard enough, or not eating the right foods, right? Being addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, what have you. Okay, it's just something is, when we go back to even your first card here, the Justice card in the reverse position, something is out of balance, right? It's too much or too little of something here, okay? And it could, if it's not necessarily addictions, right? It could also be mindsets or philosophies or way of looking at something. It will be a little, a little bit different for everybody. But again, as like a general thing, I like to say that energy doesn't last long, because your next card is the Ten of Cups in the right side up position. So it seems like that energy where the chain is loose on their neck, somebody, whether it's you here, Gemini, or the other person you're dealing with, or multiple people, a general environment situation, is able to come out of that devil energy and kind of keep moving forward in a more balanced way. So here, ta-da, we have the Ten of Cups, and now we're in also to that last row in the main center here. So we were saying that's energy around roughly March 9th through March 18th, right? And today is the 13th, okay? But here is, again, another completion kind of card or energy, just like the King of Staves, right? So the King is the top. You go from page, prince, knight to king, okay? And then with the Ten of Cups in tarot, we go from 0 or 1 to 10, okay? So 10 being the highest number, okay? So again, we have this energy of endings, new beginnings, leveling up in something. But when we talk about the cups in particular, right, we're talking about emotions, just like the water. So somebody here, Gemini, whether it's you yourself, the other person, multiple people, excuse me, is really being clear about what makes them emotionally happy, emotionally fulfilled, and satisfied and content. They're like, these are my cups, and they're in the right side up position. It has a celebratory energy, of course, and support from others, right? You see these people on the other side of the castle, right? But they're going to a party. There's rainbows, there's flags. Yes, it's all that good energy, okay? And so again, we have the water in between the castle and the little moat there, right? So, but here the emotions are on the more enjoyable side, right? We all have moments where we have really great emotions, and then moments where they're not so enjoyable. But here, after that devil card energy, right, to go from the devil to then here, okay, and possibly even a short amount of time or days or weeks or months, right? It would be different for everybody, but it still is some great progress, even just alone in those two cards there, okay? So it could be also too that, like, if there was that leveling up energy here for you, Gemini, where you leveled up in some way or took on a leadership role or took the next step in something, whatever it may be, then maybe you couldn't celebrate it right away. Like maybe there was a hold on that, because the Ten of Cups doesn't show up here until that third row, right? So the week that we're in now, or even next week, or it depends for everyone. But maybe now you're finally able to get together with others and celebrate that win here for whatever it is for you, better health, more money, relationship, job, what have you, okay? So very nice to see is what I'm trying to say, Gemini. All right. Now, It's interesting though, there is a little bit of a setback kind of right after that energy of the Ten of Cups, but it's not all the way bad, okay? And I don't even know if setback, is the right term, but I would say that it is, you know, perhaps there's something that happens here, or already happened for some of you guys. Sorry, this necklace has like a little thing and it was like cutting me. Where there was something that was really surprising or shocking or triggering that maybe even happened further back in the past, okay, but maybe shows up again in a certain way or wasn't all the way healed or something or processed, right? Okay, and I say that because your eighth card here is the Prince of Sacred Circles, or Prince of Pentacles as it is known in other decks, but it's in the reverse position. And it has something to do with communication, okay? Because this Native American man, right, is holding the peace pipe and we see all the smoke in the background, okay? So it could be that there's some kind of communication that was off, that wasn't well received, or was put on hold completely, or not understood or something, okay, in the middle of that third row here in the week that we're in now. So actually, this is where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of the other deck here in relation to this Prince of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, okay? And we have another card here that represents communication. So this is energy for some from the way back past, whatever that means for you, or it could even be recent past. But we have the Eight of Cups in the right side up position and the two eights, right? And the other eight is the Eight of Staves in the right side up position. Okay, so it looks like in the past, in some way here, somebody stepped away. They were trying to figure out what was in their cups, right? What makes me emotionally happy and content and blah, 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 and all those things, and my emotional priorities and boundaries, right? They were trying to get to the Ten of Cups, which you already had, but in the past they hadn't quite made it there yet. And then something come in, some kind of surprising communication, whether it was a good communication or a bad communication, it was, taking somebody off guard. It could have taken you off guard here, Gemini, or the other person you're dealing with, or multiple people, general environment situation. But the Eight of Staves, also known as the Eight of Wands, also speaks of our instincts and, just our flight or fight mode, right? So here the wands are like being thrown at these poor birds and they're flying off. Okay, so that's that surprise element. So this card is communication, whether it's up or down, and so is this. Okay, so that's why I was saying before that there could have been some type of communication here that you gave to someone or someone gave to you, or it was a communication or opportunity from your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your ancestors, what have you, okay, came in here and was telling you something or was telling them something, okay, and then here it's like maybe it's harking back to this thing that happened in the past that maybe kind of took you off guard here, Gemini, or the other person or multiple people environment, okay, and so it's like, how do we get it to flip around again? Maybe it is maybe having patience with the other party, having patience with yourself too, okay, if it's about you, or just in general, right? But when we talk about the peace pipe, right, in Native American culture, it's like people sitting down, finding a common ground, sharing something, talking something over. So maybe it's about somebody was so caught off guard in the past that they don't want to sit down and even have like the beginning stages of some type of talk or something here. Okay, so it could be really talking about that you or the other person or multiple people, general environment situation maybe needs to, redefine their approach or try to be as compassionate as possible, as empathetic as possible, saying, okay, if you don't want to talk in text message, let's meet in person. If you don't want to meet in person, let's talk on the phone. You don't want to talk on the phone, you want to meet in person, let's do it on Zoom. If you don't want to do it on Zoom, let's bring in someone else as a mediator to help us talk, okay? A friend, a family member, etc. It will be different for everybody, but it's not the end of the world, right? It could just be that, like I said, it really caught off you or the other person or everybody, right? But I really feel like it can be, worked out in some way here, okay, because of your surrounding cards and what we have coming up. All right. So speaking of what's coming up, your ninth card here, and I mentioned this in some of the other readings, because this, excuse me, this card keeps showing up, in particularly in this row, and I've shuffled this card. I've shuffled these decks that I use. A lot of times I cut the deck, I do a lot of things, and I've had several other readings too, off on my own, doing my own work for other people, before I had a chance to come back here and do your reading, Gemini. So when it showed up again, I just was like, oh my God, that's so funny. It's just like something to do with the astrology at this time, or the collective unconscious at this time, or just really referencing this full moon in Virgo that is coming up on the 18th here for everyone. Okay, so let me show you the card that I'm talking about. It is the Princess of Cups again, showing up here, okay? But it's not a bad card. It's just really interesting that it kept showing up in multiple readings, okay? So here we have this Morgana-like figure. She is like the high priestess of, or the goddess of herbal magic, okay, of witchcraft here in Celtic and Gaelic traditions, okay, just one of the many, right? But she is a princess, okay, and so she's not a queen yet, so we do have that energy too of being open to learning new things, okay? We have a cup here. We also have water in the background here under the moon, right? So dealing with the emotions in a positive way, finding out what makes her happy, what makes her emotion fulfilled, satisfied, and content. But this is also about learning a craft or a skill here, because she is at night picking her herbs, okay? So it also has this energy to it of doing something that is non-traditional, or doing something at a non-traditional time at night. Why is she picking her herbs at night, right? Is she hiding it from people, or is it that's when that flower blooms at night, right? It could be so many different things, okay? But the moon is in the background in the card, right? So that also talks about leaving confusion in the past, leaving past things that weren't clear, or things that blocked her from her abundance moving forward. She's left that in the past as well for some, okay? When we talk about the moon card in the tarot, right, that would be Pisces energy. It's Pisces season right now. I also said the moon could reference the full moon in Virgo that's coming up on the 18th, okay? But it's really, just this beautiful energy of learning a skill or a craft, being open to learning new things around that, okay? Or just around really owning your emotions, or other people owning their emotions as well, or multiple people, general environment situation, okay? But it is just really interesting. You can even check out some of the other readings here on my channel if you're interested, in like fast forward to the end of the reading and you'll see, or look at the photos that I post of each reading, because you'll see this card keeps showing up usually around the second and third row at this time for some reason. So I'd always love to hear back from people if you're like, this is what it meant for me, or I know why this keeps showing up, or what have you. But it is really positive, like regardless of how it may resonate for you. All right, so with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into your tarot confirmation cards here, dear Gemini. All right, so I will call them out in order, and then we'll go from there. You have the King of Pentacles on the right side up position. You have the Ten of Swords in the reverse position. You have the Hierophant in the right side up position, and then you have the Six of Swords in the reverse position. Now, what is to note is these first two tarot confirmation cards that I read right here are energy from the recent past, and then the last two are more future, current, present energies. That's kind of how I generally read them, okay? Music here, but not too loud. Okay. All right, so yes, let's start off here with this wonderful King of in the right side up position here, Gemini. Okay, again, energy from the All right. And here I actually thought we only had Taurus in 2 cards, but lo and behold, we have some Taurus imagery in the background in this card as well. I always forget about that. Okay, so again, there could be some particular thing about Taurus energy that might mean something to you, but it doesn't have to, okay? So anyway, here we have the King of Pentacles in the right side up position, okay? He's holding his coin, okay? He's worked really hard to get to that position. He is a leader, he's, right, a king, all right? And he has a lot of support around him, okay? His throne is behind him, and that's where you see actually that 2 images of the bull, that's the Taurus energy is right behind him, okay? His castle is also behind him, behind the coin that he's holding up, okay? But this also has a lot of fiery energy and passion and creativity and forward momentum. And so when we talk about this from the recent past here, Gemini, this could have been your energy or someone around you possibly that was inspiring you or helping you reach kind of similar energy, all right? Because as we know, you do finally have that King of Staves in the right side of position. So maybe in the recent past, somebody was really striving for you to take on a leadership role or to step into your power more, to have more money, abundance, right? It is a Pentacles card, but the abundance isn't just money, right? It could be whatever you want to manifest in your life, good health, relationships, moving somewhere, creative projects, what have you, okay, whatever it is. But let's see, in this card, because it is a confirmation card, it's coming in here and it is confirming the Justice in the reverse position, the Prince of Staves right side up, and the 10 of Cups right side up, okay? So we'll do one by one, but I just want to show you them all together there for a second. So yes, when the King of Pentacles is coming in here and confirming the Justice in the reverse position, it could be that, you know, basically when we had that imbalanced energy at the beginning, whether something wasn't justified or understood properly or went in your favor or their favor, or there was just that lack of balance between the positive and the negative, resistance to change, stagnant energy a little bit, okay? It could be that, again, somebody from the recent past is saying you don't have to stay in that energy. You can turn it around. You can, again, step into your power. You can rely on your support system. You can sit back in your chair, right? You don't have to hurt your back. You can lean back on your chair, right? Your chair, your throne is your support system, your friends, family, mental health care worker, etc. Okay, so I mean, he can't be a king if he doesn't have support around him, right? He can't delegate tasks to others. He can't be everyone and everything all of the time, right? So he does have that team that helps him out in his tasks and his duties as a king, right? So here it could just be saying that if you need to find the balance, if you need to understand somebody's actions or your own or both, right? If you're looking for more justice and the law and things to be weighed and judged correctly, right? Perhaps come and find that Taurus energy, whether it's in your own chart, because we all have Taurus energy. We all have each zodiac sign throughout our birth charts, right? So maybe there's some kind of thing here to be a key for some to how can I harness some Taurus energy. Taurus energy is an earth sign, just like you have Capricorn over here as well. So how can I ground myself better to manifest and move forward in my life? Okay, just as an example, how can I also step into my power and be a bull and be able to focus on a target and like go after it, right? So yeah, I mean, we could stay there forever, but I just kind of wanted to mention that briefly. So now moving forward, we have the King of Pentacles is also confirming the Prince of Staves right side up, right? And so he's like, yes, son, you're a prince now, but you're going to be a king later, right? So again, somebody, even if it's you yourself, inspiring yourself or someone else supporting you and inspiring you or being a role model for you here, Gemini, okay, or vice versa, however it may resonate, all right, but learning to master the emotions, right, with the Nile River in the background and working on confidence and stepping into your power and having more abundance in general, whatever it is, okay? So here, it's a nice, definitely complementary energy, and it's a kind of confirmation, right, of those two cards for sure. All right, and then when we have the Ten of Cups, it's the same thing, right? So when you get your emotions in control, or the other person does in multiple people, general environment situation, that will most certainly lead to more abundance, right? When it's harnessed correctly in the correct proportions, right? Having the mind and the heart chakra work together in union, right? Also, you know, having the support, not just when times are bad, right? Because I usually, when I say like your support system and I talk about the chair and your back and stuff, right? It's like, oh, I got your back, you know, I'm here for you, that kind of thing. But what about when there's the wins, right? What about when there's celebratory energy too? So having that support system celebrate those wins with you, or you're celebrating other people's wins, or both, everybody, right? Vice versa, what have you. Okay, so that is definitely important and to note too. It's not always just when things are going wrong. All right, now moving forward, we're going to get into, yes, your second confirmation card. I was so happy to see this here for you, Gemini. This is the Ten of Swords in the reverse position, and this is how you want to see this card, right? It talks about in the recent past here, you, Gemini, or the other person in multiple people general environment, right, really decided, you know what, I'm tired of being stressed out, hurt. I'm tired of being vulnerable. I'm tired of being too much up in my head. I'm tired of staying up late at night and worrying about shit that I cannot change or it's not changing right now. So I'm going to let it go. Okay. So it's so beautiful. It's not to say that you won't, oh guys, my lights are doing this like strobe thing. Hold on. Oh no. Let's see. Okay, I think I fixed it. Sorry guys, my heat has been not working, so I have like a little space here, and sometimes if it gets too hot and it's on the same outlet, then my lights start to flicker. All right, anyway, it's not that cold right now. So where was I at in my train of thought? Well, yeah, I was just saying how, you know, the Ten of Swords showing up here for you, Gemini, in the recent past, that's really beautiful, right? Because you don't want to be stressed out, or you don't want the other person to be stressed out, or multiple environment, you know, more than one person to be stressed out. So whoever decided and took that step in the recent past to let those things go, it's really beautiful, right? Because like, no one wants to be in that state, okay? Because the other thing about the Ten of Swords, when it's right side up, when we talk about being hurt and stressed out and all that stuff, it also for some could even, you know, lead into like depression and that kind of thing. So nobody wants to be in that depressive energy. It all happens for us at different times, right? But we don't want to stay there, right? Okay, so anyway, it looks like with, you know, 2 out of the 3 cards that it's confirming this Ten of Swords in reverse, it was very positive, right? So we have it confirming the Wheel of Fortune over here, and then the King of Staves on the right side up position over here, and then also with the Prince of Sacred or Prince of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So we'll go one, but yeah, for these 2 cards, it was very complimentary. It was a catalyst, right? You cannot get luck on your side, things starting to move in your direction, helping you out, having the right timing for things, right? You can't step into your own power and have passion and creativity and a support system and all those things. You can't have those things or appreciate them or manifest them fully without, right, letting go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, not getting enough sleep, being up too much up in your head, whether it's you, Gemini, or the other person, multiple people, environment. Okay, so that definitely, you know, makes sense here, right? So it's like, yes, once you let go of some of that air energy, and you are an air sign, right? But when you start to have it more in balance, right? Because you want to think things through, you want to have your logical mind, you don't want to abandon that completely. Like, we need that, okay? We all need that, but having in the correct proportion. So once you started to do that, or the other person or multiple people general environment situation, then you have more luck on your side, timing's on your side, things are moving forward, progress, positive energy, okay? So that is beautiful. And then with the King of Staves, right, then you have more passion, creativity, coming into your power, confidence, having a support system, and possibly a leadership role or stepping up in some way, somewhere in your life here, is because of all that work that you did in the recent past here, Gemini, or the other person did, or multiple people did, okay? So very nice to see. Now, when we talk about the Ten of Swords confirming the Prince of Sacred Circles in reverse, it's like if you know, when I said that this had something to do with a communication with someone, whether it's a communication that you gave or someone gave to you, or it came from communication opportunity from your spirit guides, guardian angels, signs from the universe, what have you, that if it wasn't well received or understood or even just put on hold in general, it could be because somebody was still stuck there, or they got re-triggered and went back there for a little bit, okay? Like somebody was like, oh shit, right? Excuse my French, right? But somebody was like, okay, and they went back there briefly for a second, and I really feel like that is why that Prince of Sacred Circles was in reverse, okay? But as we know, it's going to switch again for you, because your last card is the Prince of Cups in the right side up position, and so it does turn. Okay, all right. Now moving forward, we talk about your last two confirmation cards, and these two are more future, current, present energies versus the last two that were more from the recent past. Okay, so here we have another Taurus energy, and it is the official Taurus card of the tarot, right? The Hierophant in the right side up position. Sorry, I'm just making sure there's a little music in the background here. All right. And so here we also, when we were talking about just a minute ago, leadership roles, right? When we talk about looking for answers or looking up to somebody to help you in some way. This is really shown with this Hierophant card. There's two people here and they're looking up at the priest, right? So this talks about teachers, mentors, spiritual guides, actual priests, right? It talks about, you know, when we say teachers, it talks about schools and institutions, right? Really looking for answers to hard questions in life, but maybe not so hard questions in life, right? Because not everything is hopefully as hard and as deep, right? But whatever this energy here is, you know, it is in that kind of positive alignment because it's in the right side up position. So it could be that you are representing these things to somebody else, right? You're having a leadership role where you're helping other people find their own answers. Maybe you're not giving them the direct answers per se, right? But you're helping them along in some way. And then for the other group of you, it could be that you're really looking for that guidance from a couple of things we mentioned, right? A teacher, a spiritual guru, a mentor, a guide, a priest, what have you, to kind of help you clear your path a little bit more, all right? But it is some very nice complementary energy, regardless of which one you may associate with, okay? Sorry guys, I don't know what the hell this music is, but it's driving me crazy. It's some kind of like weird abstract jazz, something was going on there, and it was like somebody screaming or something. It was weird. Anyway, I was like, okay, that's distracting. So back to the Hierophant here. So when this Hierophant comes in here and it is confirming the Prince of Swords in the right side up position, the Devil in the right side up position, and then also that Princess of Cups in the right side up position, okay? It is very complementary, right? Because even with the Devil, those chains, the loop is open. So it can be changed at any time to find more proper balance. So, but we'll go one by one, right? So this way, yes. So when the Hierophant comes in here, it is confirming the Prince of Swords in the right side up position. It's like, yes, I'm going to help you find more of that logical brain inside to understanding something. I'm going to have you balance your emotions to appreciate both of those things, your heart chakra and your crown chakra, right? And I'm going to help you move forward and slowly work on leveling up in some way. So again, I really feel even with that King of Pentacles in the past here, Gemini, that somebody was really helping you, facilitate those changes, right, to level up in some way, okay, because it's kind of, showing up twice. So even if somebody helped you in the recent past or still is, or, somebody can be helping you, and at the same time, you can also be a teacher or a mentor or a guide to others, right? It doesn't have to just be like, oh, I only need help or I don't need help. It can be both of those things at the same time for some, okay? Now, when it's coming in here with the devil, like I already mentioned, right, the chains are open on their neck. So if there's any self-sabotaging energy that you feel, Gemini, or another person feels, or multiple people, general environment situation, with the right assistance, you can get out of that energy. And if it's talking about addictions or imbalance in that way, or someone's animalistic side is out too much, again, that can be there can be a way to find outlets for that and to have everything kind of in the right proportions so it doesn't block your abundance, right? If you're talking about addictions in any way or self-sabotaging energy, that's going to block your abundance, whatever you're trying to manifest in your life. So here with the Hierophant card, there could be somebody here that can help you with that. And also, if you're helping others and taking a break from your own shit or your own drama, or even if it's good stuff, you're taking a break and you're helping others, that will in turn help you as well, right? So it can go kind of both ways there. And then with this Princess of Cups in the right side up position, she's also learning to become a queen eventually, right? She's a princess if she wants to, right? Or she can run away, I don't know. But it is talking about, being in that place again. There's a couple of places throughout your reading here, Gemini, right? You had two princes, and then you had the king. So it's like a reoccurring, repeating message throughout your reading a little bit here of, wanting to level up in some way, leadership role with your health, with your work, with your relationships, whether it's romantic or friends or family or all those things, right? Your health, all of that, okay? And here too, it could be that there's somebody that is non-traditional, right, that could help you. So maybe they're not a priest, maybe they're not a teacher, maybe they're not a spiritual guru or have any of those titles, but maybe there's still somebody that's going to be able to help you keep moving forward on your path, and help you that is like non-traditional in some way, okay? Or maybe you are that person that is non-traditional in some way and you're going to be helping others, okay? But it is about, again, with the cup, finding those things and having emotional priorities, boundaries, finding out what makes you happy, what makes them happy, to work complementary with each other. Leave the confusion in the past, right? Yes, right on the bell there. And also to, when we talked about the Princess of Cups card, right, representing possibly for some the full moon in Virgo that's happening on the 19th. It could be, right, at any full moon, emotions are heightened. Everything is kind of heightened and feels more intense. So it could also be saying for some that if that happens, right, go and find some support, your support system, friends, family, mental health care worker, etc., whatever it is, to kind of help you if that is like, feeling more anxious or more intense than normal about something, okay? But again, it will be different for everybody. We just had a lot to talk about. We have the Six of Swords in the reverse position. This is, again, more future kind of current present energies, okay? But this is how you want to see this card as well, because when it's right side up, the swords are going down. When the swords are going down, it's no fun. We want the swords up. Okay, so even though it's in the reverse position, it's still, that's how you want to see this card. Okay, so this is basically saying here that there is a possibility to let go of any betrayal or lack of trust in some way with your progress with somebody else, okay? Because when the card is right side up, the person that's in front, right, that is going for the ride, has their back towards the person guiding the boat. So there is that little bit for some, lack of trust or betrayal issues here, or mental confusion, anxiety, worry, of course, overthinking, with the swords in general going down. But here in the reverse position, you are starting to let that go, or the other person's starting to let that go, or everybody, multiple people are starting to let that go. And they're like, okay, this is the emotions, this is the river. We were on it. It was slow progress before, but how can I speed up that progress? How can I complete going towards whatever it is I want to manifest in my life? And so it's going to be learning to trust more, talking through the issues. Again, that Prince of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, getting the peace pipe, sitting down, trying to be more compassionate and empathetic to somebody here. Okay, so let's turn that down again and talk about this Six of Swords in reverse. Which cards it's confirming? It's confirming the same row we just did, but maybe a little bit differently, right? So it's confirming the Prince of Swords right side up, the Devil right side up, and the Princess of Cups right side up. Okay, so here I would say for, again, all of these cards, they're very positive, even with the Devil, because the chains are open, right? You can still work on it. So we'll do it one by one here, but this is the first one. So it's like, yes, if you started to let those things go, or the other person does with multiple people, then you can have more mental clarity. Again, working with the emotions and your logical mind together in unison, with your heart chakra and your crown chakra together. Or if it's the other person, have them work with it together, multiple people, general environment. But it will be able to, the thing about the swords too, when they're right side up, is like you can have more of a discerning quality to look at something and instantly be like, that's not right, that's some bullshit, that doesn't, it's like you're looking at it from not just the emotional side, but more of like, this doesn't make sense. Like logically, this is how something maybe is supposed to go down if we're talking about things that are more logical, right? Like when I was saying before too, the thing with the wands and the swords is they're a tool and a weapon, right? So the sword right here, he can use that sword to cut things out of his path. If there's lots of branches, he can cut, right? But he can also use the sword to hunt and to eat and all those things. So that is, something else to think about as well, like having both of those things come together and knowing that, because you had all this prince and princess energy, and then you did have the king, okay? So then with the Devil card here, it's like, yeah, if I want to let go, or the other person or multiple people, general environment, wants to let go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, having trust issues, feeling betrayed in some way, not trusting the emotions, not trusting the progress. Well, if we try to put things more in balance, let go of that self-sabotaging energy, and also, work on our addictions if there are some, and have things more in proper balance, that will definitely help everybody their own progress, hopefully, right? Now, when we put this Six of Swords in reverse together with the Princess of Cups right side up, it's like, yes, of course, they're going to work on their emotions. You're working on your emotions. Everyone hopefully is, right? And it could be more heightened around the full moon, and the thing about the full moon, right, is some people start feeling it a week or two before, even in certain ways, or unconsciously, or while they're sleeping, what have you. And so even though you feel the fullest effect of each full moon the day before, the day of, and the day after, and then it starts to wane a little bit. But if it's like emotions are really high, or there's something about non-traditional roles and something to do with learning a craft or a skill, and trying to figure out how that can relate to the emotions, but it's like, but that, all of that is great and good, right? But then it's like, we don't want to lose the logical mind, right? We want to have all those things again work together. Okay. Oh, child. So that is a mouthful, but hopefully some of that made sense to you and you got something from it. But before you go, real quickly, we have your last little oracle cards here that usually a little bit more lighter and all that good stuff. So your first oracle card here, Gemini, is your love oracle message. Whether you're watching for romantic love or self-love, or love with friends and family, platonic love, or all the above, right? Your love oracle message is reconciliation, and it says someone from your past is returning to your life. Okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory for the romantic, and for platonic love too, with friends and family. Someone could be returning from the past. And also, even with self-love, there could be different parts of yourself that are like soul retrieval work, or working with your shadow or your inner child. Just as examples, could be coming from the past, helping you with your self-love too. But it looks like there's some type of reconciliation and forgiving and coming together again. So that is really nice. And then with your last oracle card here, Gemini, this is from the Rumi or Remy Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. And so Remy, that's how I pronounce it. Some people say Rumi. I don't know which one is correct, but he was a 13th century Persian poet, and I really like some of his poetry. And Elena Fairchild, who has a lot of other oracle decks, brought some of his poetry together with this artist to create these really beautiful cards. So your cord, oh my gosh, so your cord, why did I say it like that? So your card here, Gemini, sorry, I'm having itchy allergies, is from nothing to everything, and it's card number 16, and it looks almost like this abstract kind of space like thing going on in the background, and then we almost see, I don't know if it's like a tree, or if it's, I don't know if it could be an ocean wave, it could be so many different things, but it's definitely more of that kind of abstract energy. I also even see like a face, if that's like a moon or a planet. I don't know. Anyway, let's read a little bit of just the poem here, Gemini, and a quick like 2 or 3 sentences about how to get into this energy if you want to. And then that's pretty much it. And you can learn more if you look it up online too, because there's usually like 5 pages or more for each card. All right, but anyway, your message here, Gemini, for this card, it says from nothing to everything, and it says, oh my friend, if you're longing to be written on, become a blank page. Have you been shedding your skins, your layers, your certainties? Gone are fixed identities and definite opinions. Keep casting those shackles aside. The Devil card. Yes. Okay, just for a moment there. Okay, keep casting those shackles aside, even if you fear you are releasing too much, and then perhaps you shall cease to exist. You shall only cease to exist as you have known yourself to be thus far. Another form of you awaits, blazing angel, something more beautiful and true. Yet here you are at the pruning stage, like a gardener for the soul. Shall the garden spring back to life, or will the enthusiastic de-nudging process be rather too much and okay, sorry. What? Shall the garden spring back to life, or will the enthusiastic de-nudging process be rather too much and unintentionally kill off the garden altogether? Fear not, your soul is made of hardy stuff. It can handle a lot of culling and will shine even brighter for it. Excuse me. There is a greater story to be impressed upon your essence than the one you are currently dreaming up. Though you are brilliant, no doubt about it, my angel of love, there is one who is even more so. The imagination of this great writer is beyond our comprehension. The stories that pour forth from that cosmic poet in every moment are so rich, they inspire the creation of art and music. One such story is essentially created for you, yes, even you, with a starring role and all the best supporting cast. You shall grasp in wonder, awe, glee, and delight when you hear it. It is a great romance, a great adventure, and with an ending truly spectacular and divine. Would you wish to hear it? Become attentive now. Put your own tales aside, as dramatic as they may seem right now, and prepare to be entranced by the greater storyteller. the living poet of love, as you are entranced in a tale of your unfolding divine destiny. Wow, all right. That's cool. I don't think I've seen this card before or heard that little poem there. All right, so to get into more of this energy, it says, place your hands in prayer and bow your head and say aloud, I choose to trust in the great genius unfolding in my life. I give thanks for the blessings of grace now flowing into my heart. I have no need to know. I trust in the perfection of my being unfolding with innate intelligence and wisdom. Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, he holds me in his protection, and I accept my destiny with a peaceful and trusting heart. Please help me to surrender the stories, attachments, fantasies, and fears that have held me back from living my heart's desires fully. I now choose unconditional trust in the loving genius of life to lead me into my fulfilled destiny now. So be it. All right. And then it says, you have completed your sacred honoring ritual. So yeah, that's beautiful. I feel like we touched upon a lot of that kind of stuff that was in some of the poetry there and the ritual throughout the reading. So I feel like it resonated and hopefully you got something from it. Yeah, thank you guys so much always for your views, for your energy, for your likes. It does help the channel. It's a free way to help the channel, of course. So not only when you like the video is it telling me that you resonated with it, but it tells YouTube to share it with others. And then also, if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, it is free too. So all you have to do is click on the bell icon on the bottom right over there and make sure it's blue and active. I'll just let you know when I put out new videos. So yeah, I'm going to take a break here and then hopefully come back in a little while with Taurus, because we still need to do Taurus and Aries. So if you want to join me for the other videos, you can too, but if not, that's all right. So anyway, I hope you guys take care and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.